With great power comes great responsibility. I'm not too sure on who said that. I just know that they're right. This is a bit weird, but all I can say really is I think I'm learning more about my powers, my abilities. Especially since I stopped what happened. Stopped a lot of things. And, well, no one remembers them. It's how it should be. In fact, this is a bit different. Only I remember who they were. No one else. And I'm not sure what to tell anyone. But I guess what I should do is start from the beginning. Alrighty, hello everybody. This is Kiru's show here. And, well, I'm releasing part 2 because the next part to Ghoul might be a bit more action-packed. Along with that, I was at least thinking about this what if a bit too much today. Now, I'm not sure how long this will take to put out, but hopefully it won't be later than 12. Since I have been having some uploading issues as of late. In fact, the part to Ghoul earlier today took a long time to get up. Now, let us begin. Whenever we last left off, Midoriya has discovered an ability of his power. If he wants a different quirk or a different type of power, he can just manifest it out of thin air. Seemingly out of nowhere, with no explanation. However, there is one question he did ask that he didn't get an answer to. Where did his power come from? No answer came. No explanation. Now, let us start with outside of Midoriya's home. There are various government officials and other people who do know about Midoriya's power. They think it's a form of low-level reality bending. And even that type of quirk is still dangerous. In fact, they're thinking that with him in their corner, at least the government Midoriya, well, lives under, they think that if they have him on their side, they can seemingly just do things, and have him as a potential threat to other powers in the world. Now, this is one idea that does get posed at a meeting. And while that meeting is going on, many people are discussing it, going back and forth on the details. They really can't just rip a kid from his mother. Then again, what if he uses this power against them? Besides, it is becoming widespread knowledge of his existence. After people heard different terms and different ways they described his power, yeah, especially the doctor that gave an interview, many people were getting very concerned. People all over the world were, along with someone taking an interest in this boy. All for one. He wants to know exactly what would happen if he takes on this quirk, let alone if he'd be able to. The doctor is explaining to him exactly the idea behind it. Whatever it is, its power is immense, and it is very, very strong. So, it particularly might be dangerous. So, what I advise you, sir, is that you be careful if you do try and encounter the boy. Particularly, try getting him while he is asleep. That might be the best time. Now, with that being said, All Might, he is aware of Midoriya. And today, he actually is passing by. You see how the young man is. As he does knock on the door of the apartments, Inko answering it and being a bit more surprised to see the number one hero once again. As he just says hello, and that he is here to see the young man. He would like to have a chat with him. In fact, it can be very useful. Now, All Might, he is invited inside, along with actually getting a cup of tea, or at least a cup of coffee. Inko does make the offer since she does not want to seem rude, and she's sort of just trying not to freak out. Now, she explains to him that Izuku is in his room, as All Might knocks on the door, and Midoriya does open it, as he is at least sitting on his bed. All Might walking in and realizing exactly one thing. The boy's room, it's bigger on the inside. So, is he doing this with his power? That does at least make sense. As he just looks at Midoriya, who's sitting down on his bed, as his action figures run straight through All Might's legs, and right past him. Him being a bit confused along with looking down, watching as the All Might figurine is fully animated, running around and battling against another All Might figurine. Someone just being like, I am here, and you will not get away with this, villain. Famous things he's said while battling a villain, or just on TV or during interviews, whatever Midoriya has seen. Now, All Might is a bit more surprised by that, as Midoriya is just sitting there, watching his action figures do that with his hands up, trying to puppet them, and use them as, well, toys. All Might is very surprised by that, along with Midoriya at least looking straight at him, and his eyes going wide once again, as he throws down his hands and just clutches them in a fist, saying hello to the number one hero once more. Now, All Might does actually want to talk with this young boy, and take him to go see Sir Night-Eye. This young boy has a power to bend reality, and if it is true that he's going to die one day, he would like to know if this boy can prevent it, or stop it. If there's a chance that he can't, he wants to give him his quirk. It might make him strong enough to where he could. He can change fate itself. Alter dimensions, right? At least that's what he thinks it is. If he's correct, because, well, he was somewhere else and he was moved from a different point to another one. So that means that he had to travel through certain dimensions, right? He's not used to doing all that sciencey crap. As he does actually say that he would like to take him to go meet someone who he used to work with. In fact, I think it will be a very good field trip. Midoriya getting very excited, running out and asking his mom if he can go with All Might. To which she just says that if she, well, she's not really too sure. I assure you, ma'am, it will be quite safe. In fact, he will be surrounded by heroes. Well, I'm not too sure. In fact, he's still been trying to learn about his abilities. To be honest, I'm not even sure if he slept last night. He's just been messing around. Ah, well, I see. So, I guess that if you aren't very comfortable with it, you could come along with us. Or you could just say no. It's perfectly reasonable and perfectly fine. I was gonna go take him to see an old friend of mine, Sir Night-Eye. As soon as he says that, Sir Night-Eye, pop, directly next to All Might. with a file in hand, as he looks up from it, confused, looking around and seeing All Might in front of him. Him then just turning around and seeing Midoriya standing in the doorway, as he himself begins to fanboy. Tsunade turning to see the young child. He's fairly certain that that's the boy All Might mentioned in a phone call. So, teleportation. Very useful, yes, especially over great distances, but exactly what is that it? Was that his quirk? Far from it. In fact, that's just it. I'm not too sure how to explain it. Just, well, it's very powerful. Now, for a bit of time, Tsunade does go on to try and look into the future, trying to use his quirk on Midoriya, trying to look at the next 7 years, or at least up to 8. Whenever he does try and use his quirk on Midoriya, it does not work. It just bounces back. He sees how he's going to live his life in the next 7 years to 8. Every time he tries, surprise, surprise, it's always changing. Things are constantly changing each time. There's no solid way to use this quirk. In fact, the boy's seemingly immune to it, meaning that he can change the world how he wants to. That's kind of a scary thought. As they go on stating that they need to get the boy put into a hero program. Now, later that day, or at least a little bit of time, people knock on the door, and Inko does open it, finding some high-ranking military officials along with government officials, who do want to speak with her and her son. All Might and Tsunade just watching, as she does at least step outside and try and talk to them. And, well, they do talk with Midoriya. They want to talk to Inko about harnessing her son's quirk and helping him develop it. Although, whenever a 5-star general, a few colonels, and at least a military sergeant do show up, and they do have heavily armored vehicles, yeah, they're not too certain that they're actually here for their own protection. Or at least the protection of her son. She's thinking that they have ulterior motives. Something isn't right. People this high ranking wouldn't just come here for a conversation. They would do something like that over the phone, wouldn't they? Or would it not be reliable? It does not make sense. Now, before any of that can even happen, All For One decides to make his own move, as he does smash through the wall of the apartment building. And they do see what is going on. All For One does have some experimental Nomus, or at least some prototypes, as they make their way into the building, beginning to attack civilians and actually go for Tsunade and All Might. The two instantly going into battle and fighting against these things, while the military officials start firing upon the creatures. Gunfire being thrown all around, and the Nomu attacking like wild monsters. Now, with that being said, this is whenever All For One does try and rush towards Midoriya, who immediately just throws up his hands and tries to defend himself. A large explosion going off, sending All For One flying. Now, Midoriya, he's still a bit more concerned, and, well, he's very scared. And things don't go very well. During this battle, Tsunade and Midoriya's mother die. And things do go haywire. All Might taking down the Nomu and trying to help Midoriya. As soon as that does happen, Midoriya, he's somewhat crying. And while he is weeping, he is at least thinking that he doesn't want them to leave him. He wants them to come back. Tsunade and Midoriya's mother gasping back to life. And All Might being aware of exactly what just happened. As Midoriya looks up to see his mom standing back up, thinking that he wishes he had stronger abilities, that he wishes he could do whatever he wanted. He just wishes the bad man went away. And he did. All for One disappeared, along with the Nomu. They were all gone. In fact, not even All Might remembers what he was fighting, let alone his mother. The man was gone. Nowhere to be found. In fact, the building repaired itself too. And that was different. Over the next following weeks, life somewhat returned to normal, and Midoriya was trying to figure things out. The bad man was gone, and he's been meeting with All Might and a few strange people, and talking with them. In fact, Midoriya has been moved to a different place too. The building he now lives in, it's a bit more odd than that. It's all about keeping him safe and contained. And outside the world, Midoriya does know about some weird things going on. In fact, he once looked into someone's head and found out that they were trying to at least keep him under their control, since they have no way of containing him without cork dampeners. They thought those things would work, but they don't. Midoriya just goes above that. His power is too strong. He simply just makes them not work on him. And he does know about something else going on. During the next few weeks, or the last few weeks, in between these two, Midoriya, he has been testing out his quirk, or his ability, finding out exactly the limits to it, trying to, at least. All Might put on record that one thing the boy did was bring back Tsunade and his mother whenever she was hurt by a creature. In fact, she is also staying in the facility. Some of the tests they do involve transporting objects from large spaces, along with at least trying to get information about different things. Anything they request of Midoriya, he's able to do, unaware of the true intentions behind it. Until today. Today is a very bad day. Midoriya, he read the mind of somebody, and found out about exactly what happened. As today it was announced that the end of the world has begun. Nuclear war has started, and nukes are already in the air. Things are about to be destroyed. Midoriya unaware of what any of that means, and trying to at least get information on it. He wants to understand it. So, he makes himself smarter, learning about different subjects and different things. Learning everything about the man. In less than a second, everything the man knows, he now understands. And he sees exactly what he means. Nuclear war. That means that everyone all across the planet will die. In less than 5 minutes. Probably less, actually. as there is a loud sound of shaking above. And Midoriya, he feels it. Before trying to at least leave this place. Many people trying to stop him, but Midoriya simply just waving them away, making them all disappear as he runs toward the elevator. Whenever it doesn't open, he just thinks for a second, I need to be out there, before opening his eyes and finding that he is in the middle of an explosion. Explosive. Seeing the mushroom cloud, watching as it decimates the entire city around him. As he tries to use his abilities, tries to find out if anyone is left alive, tries to find out what is going on. He can hear the nuclear fire, the warheads, all of them going off all across the planet at once. In fact, he can feel it. As he just thinks, this can't be happening. This shouldn't have happened. Before, he just has a thought. He wishes for everything to go away. He wishes that none of this happened and everyone who was involved in this disappeared. That they were gone. That being the thing that he thought. Before he opens his eyes. And he's back at home. With a plate sitting in front of him. His mother just saying that he needs to be, well, more careful. He was about to make another stack of pancakes, but he really should not be eating so much. It's very good that you've developed your power, Izuku, but you do still need to be careful with it. Besides, she's fairly certain that heroes, well, they can't eat very badly. As she gives him a light smile before walking away. Midoriya is standing up and running outside. As he looks out to see the entire town. Everything returned to normal. And he asks his mom exactly where is Mr. Blake, let's say. Along with, what is it? Someone else. He just starts to list off a few people, giving their names. Inko kind of confused. And is telling him that she's not too sure who they are. Are they some people that he made up, or what? Basically unsure of what he's saying. He might have created another imaginary friend, who became real. Now, Midoriya, he's not too sure what to say. As he just starts to think. Using his newfound intelligence, and starting to look all over the world. In the span of 5 seconds, he finds out exactly what he did. Everyone who he's trying to find is missing. In fact, they don't exist. People connected to them exist, but they don't. There are families who are missing their sister, their mother, their brother, their father, or their son. Yet they don't know what happened to them. Or they just don't think they exist. That doesn't make sense to him. How could everyone just disappear? This isn't what he wanted. He just wanted the fighting to stop. Now, with that thought, Midoriya, he's not too sure what to say. His power has shown its true head, or at least his power has shown through. The biggest thing he's ever done. He stopped World War III, and no one knows about it. In fact, even the president is different. So, whatever he did, he hopes it was for the better. Since he doesn't know if he could undo it. He thinks he can, But if he undoes it, then those bad people, they will just do this all over again. In fact, that's at least what he's thinking. So, he's not too sure what to do, as he does look down at his hands, a bit frightened, trying to understand what he did. Now, with that being said, I do hope that you guys enjoyed, and have an amazing night. I will catch you guys in the next part.